The Art of Goal Setting, written and published by Sonic Tome. You've stood at the edge, staring into the vast expanse of possibility. The road ahead gleams with promise, but also with uncertainty. The gap between where you are and where you want to be seems both exhilarating and intimidating. Dreams, big and small, have called out to you for as long as you can remember. And yet, no matter how hard you try, the momentum just doesn't seem to stick. You've been told to work harder, push further, and never give up. But here's the truth. Persistence alone doesn't always make the difference. It's not enough to simply show up and grind your way through. The real secret is in how you see yourself and the goals you chase. It's about making sure that every step you take is purposeful and in alignment with something far greater than just the outcome. The true power lies in the way you understand the journey, the way you reshape your mindset, the clarity you gain in setting your sights, and the structures you build to carry you through when obstacles arise. It's easy to get lost in the noise of success, as it's often defined by others. But that's not the story you're here to create. The story you're about to embark on is about setting goals that resonate deeply within you, breaking them down into tangible, meaningful steps, and finding the strength to keep moving forward, no matter what life throws your way. This is not about aiming for anything and everything. It's about choosing what truly matters and pursuing it with the kind of relentless determination that fuels not just your success, but your soul. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, and the temptation to take shortcuts. The road to fulfillment is rarely a straight path, but when you have the right framework, the ability to track your progress, and the right kind of accountability, nothing can derail you for long. You won't just stay the course, you'll rise beyond what you once thought possible. It's time to stop questioning your ability to succeed and start embracing the power within you to achieve, to evolve, and to ultimately transform. Chapter 1. Visioning the Future. To truly shape your life, you must first create a vision that pulls you forward, something so vivid, so magnetic, that it becomes impossible to resist. This vision isn't a distant fantasy, nor is it a mere wish. It's the picture of who you want to become, the life you intend to live, and the impact you wish to have. It's a destination, but it's more than just a place. It's the embodiment of the values, strengths, and aspirations you carry within you. Imagine for a moment waking up in your ideal future. The life you've built is thriving, and everything you've worked for feels purposeful. How does that life feel? What does it look like, sound like, and even smell like? The clearer your vision, the more it becomes a part of you, a guiding force that influences every choice you make. Without it, you may wander aimlessly, unsure of where you're going or how to get there. But with a clear, compelling vision, each step aligns with your ultimate destination, and even obstacles become stepping stones. A compelling vision is not limited by your current circumstances. It's driven by your potential, by the person you are becoming. It's the force that propels you past self-doubt and fear of failure. Rather than waiting for things to fall into place, you create a future that excites you. And this excitement becomes your fuel. A strong vision brings clarity to your actions. When your future is clear, decisions become simpler. Every action you take is connected to something greater, something more profound. Whether it's a small task or a major life decision, the vision helps you measure its relevance to your bigger picture. Does this move me closer to the future I want? Does it align with the person I want to become? If not, it becomes easier to let go of distractions and stay focused on what matters. As you begin to bring this vision to life, it's important to remember that it's not static. It evolves as you evolve. The person you are today may not fully grasp the magnitude of who you could be tomorrow. Your future self will have a different perspective, a new set of tools, and an expanded sense of what's possible. In this sense, visioning is both a destination and a journey, one that unfolds as you grow. But a vision without action is simply a dream. It's the roadmap, but without steps to follow, it's just a place you imagine. The vision serves as the guiding star, but it is the daily actions that bring you closer to it. That's why your vision must be more than a mental picture. It must be a living, breathing part of your everyday life, constantly influencing the choices you make and the way you interact with the world. Each day is an opportunity to move closer to the person you are becoming, to take a step toward the life you are creating. What's crucial to remember is that your vision has power. The stronger it is, the more energy it generates. It fuels motivation on days when the path seems difficult, and it keeps you grounded when challenges arise. In those moments when the road ahead seems unclear, your vision acts as both the reason to keep going and the map that shows you the way. It doesn't just guide you, it transforms you. Chapter 2. Crafting Your Purpose. When you embark on the journey of goal setting, it's easy to become fixated on the end result, the tangible achievements, the markers of success. Yet without a deeper sense of purpose, goals can feel hollow, as though you're chasing something without knowing why. Purpose isn't simply an idea or a dream. It's the core motivation that drives everything you do, the invisible thread that weaves together all your actions and decisions. It's the reason you get up in the morning, the fuel that keeps you going when the path becomes uncertain. To craft your purpose, you must go beyond surface-level desires. It's not enough to simply want a new car, a bigger house, or more recognition. These are external rewards, but true purpose arises from within. It's rooted in your values, your passions, and your beliefs about what matters most. Think of purpose as a compass. It directs your path even when the landscape changes, ensuring you remain aligned with what truly fulfills you. Without it, you might find yourself achieving things that look impressive from the outside, but feel empty when you finally reach them. Purpose gives your goals a sense of direction. Instead of blindly pursuing achievements, you can begin to ask yourself, what is this goal in service of? If it doesn't contribute to your broader vision or deeper calling, it's likely a distraction. Purpose acts as a filter, helping you sort through opportunities, choices, and paths, guiding you to those that resonate with your true self. It brings clarity to every decision, large and small, so that no effort is wasted and no opportunity is missed. But crafting your purpose is not something that happens overnight. It's a process of exploration, of connecting the dots between what excites you and what serves a greater need in the world. It's about discovering what lights you up, what makes you feel truly alive. Purpose isn't static. It evolves as you grow, learn, and encounter new experiences. What once seemed important may shift as you uncover deeper layers of who you are and what you want to contribute. This is why purpose isn't a fixed destination. It's a continuous unfolding. True purpose also has a profound effect on your resilience. When the going gets tough, when challenges seem insurmountable, it's purpose that helps you persevere. It's not just the fear of failure that drives you to push forward, but a deeper commitment to something greater than yourself. Whether it's the desire to make a positive impact on others, to live a life of authenticity, or to simply leave a legacy that aligns with your values, purpose provides the strength to endure, to push through the inevitable setbacks that will come your way. In your pursuit of purpose, you'll discover that success takes on a different meaning. Success isn't just about achieving a specific outcome. It's about the sense of fulfillment and alignment you feel when your goals reflect your true self. There's a quiet joy that comes from pursuing something meaningful, a sense of peace that fills you when you know your actions are in harmony with your values. As you begin to craft your purpose, you must ask yourself not just, what do I want to achieve, but why do I want to achieve it? The answers to these questions will point you toward the path that is most authentic and rewarding. When your goals align with your purpose, you will find that every action feels more purposeful, every achievement feels more satisfying, and the journey itself becomes a source of joy. Chapter 3. The Mindset Shift. Achieving meaningful goals requires more than just a plan. It demands a fundamental shift in how you perceive challenges, setbacks, and your own potential. Your mindset determines whether you approach obstacles as insurmountable walls or as opportunities to learn and grow. It's not about avoiding difficulty. It's about shifting your relationship with it, seeing it not as a threat but as a vital part of the journey. The first step in this shift is recognizing that your capacity to succeed is not fixed. Many people approach their goals with the belief that they either have what it takes or they don't, that some are simply born with the ability to achieve great things while others are not. This belief, rooted in a fixed mindset, limits growth and holds you back. Instead, when you embrace a growth-oriented mindset, you understand that your abilities, intelligence, and potential can be developed over time. They are not set in stone, but instead they are like muscles that grow stronger with consistent effort and the right approach. With this mindset, challenges become less daunting. When you encounter difficulties, you no longer see them as evidence of your failure or inadequacy. Instead, you understand that every challenge is a chance to refine your approach, to test your limits, and to improve. Each setback is simply feedback, information that helps you adjust and grow stronger. Rather than a sign that you should give up, you stop taking things personally and start focusing on the process of becoming better, understanding that growth is often uncomfortable and messy. The discomfort you feel is not a signal to retreat, but a sign that you are stretching beyond your previous limits. Persistence becomes a natural byproduct of this mindset shift. When you view obstacles as part of the process, quitting no longer feels like an option. You begin to see the value in the long game, the small, consistent steps that, when taken over time, compound into significant progress. Rather than focusing on immediate results or instant gratification, you focus on the process, knowing that every effort contributes to your evolution. This shift in perspective allows you to embrace delayed gratification, understanding that true success often takes longer to manifest, but is more sustainable and fulfilling when it does. Your relationship with failure also transforms. Instead of fearing failure, you start to view it as an essential part of the learning curve. When you fail, it's not a reflection of who you are, but an indication that you're pushing your limits, testing new waters, and attempting things that are outside of your comfort zone. Each failure, in this light, becomes a stepping stone, an essential part of success rather than a roadblock. You begin to approach setbacks with curiosity, asking yourself what you can learn, what you can adjust, and what you can do better next time. One of the most powerful aspects of a growth-oriented mindset is its impact on your self-belief. When you realize that your abilities can be developed, your confidence shifts. You start to see yourself not as someone who either has or doesn't have certain skills, but as someone capable of growing and adapting. This belief in your own capacity for change and improvement opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. It transforms how you approach not just your goals, but also your interactions, challenges, and opportunities. Confidence no longer comes from being perfect or knowing everything. It comes from knowing that you have the ability to figure things out, to learn, and to grow no matter the circumstances. As your mindset shifts, so does your approach to learning. You stop seeing new information as something to be consumed and mastered quickly, and instead, view it as part of an ongoing evolution. You embrace continuous learning as a lifelong process, knowing that each new skill, insight, or perspective is valuable in expanding your ability to achieve your goals. The more you learn, the more you realize that you are not bound by what you know now, but are empowered by what you can learn and apply in the future. This thirst for knowledge becomes a driving force that propels you forward, keeping you curious and open to the possibilities that each new challenge brings. This shift in mindset also extends to how you view others. Rather than seeing people as competitors, you begin to see them as sources of inspiration and collaboration. When you no longer feel threatened by others' success, you can learn from their experiences, seek out mentorship, and build a community that encourages growth. The fear of not being enough diminishes when you realize that there is room for everyone to succeed. You stop comparing your journey to others and start focusing on your own path, trusting that everyone's timeline is different and that your unique experiences will lead you exactly where you need to go. Ultimately, the mindset shift is about more than just achieving goals. It's about transforming who you are in the process. As you develop this growth mindset, you not only expand your capacity to reach your goals, but also cultivate a deeper sense of purpose, fulfillment, and resilience. You begin to see challenges not as disruptions but as invitations to expand and evolve, and your persistence becomes less about willpower and more about your unshakable belief in your ability to grow. Every step you take becomes an expression of that belief, a manifestation of the mindset that shapes the way you live and work. Chapter 4. Setting the right targets. The process of setting targets is often treated as a formula, a mere checklist of things you want to achieve. But the real magic happens when the targets you set align with who you truly are. Targets are not just arbitrary endpoints, they are signposts along the path of your personal evolution. When you set the right targets, they don't simply push you toward something you think you should do. They pull you forward with a sense of purpose, excitement, and energy that makes the pursuit feel meaningful. The first step in this process is introspection. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of what everyone else is doing, whether it's societal expectations, the success stories of others, or the pressures of what seems desirable in the moment. The challenge, however, is to block out that external noise and listen to your own internal compass. What really matters to you? What brings you fulfillment, not just in the short term, but in the long term? Your targets need to spring from your desires, your values, and your vision for who you want to become. Without this foundation, even the most well-thought-out goals can feel disconnected, as though you're chasing someone else's dream rather than your own. Once you have a clearer sense of what truly resonates with you, it's time to evaluate your capabilities. Setting targets that are too far out of reach can be discouraging, and at the same time, setting ones that are too easy can lead to stagnation. There's a balance that must be struck between ambition and realism. Your targets should stretch you, but not so far that they break your confidence. The challenge is to find targets that challenge your current abilities in a way that sparks growth, without overwhelming you. This requires a deep understanding of your own strengths and weaknesses, knowing where you're naturally talented and where you might need more development. Targets should feel like they are within your grasp, but require you to stretch just a little further than you have before. They should push your boundaries, but in a way that feels exciting, not defeating. As you begin setting targets, it's important to approach them with a sense of flexibility. The world is unpredictable, and so is life. You may not always know every obstacle that lies ahead, and your targets may need to be adjusted as you gain new experiences. This is why setting the right targets is not about rigidity, but about fluidity. The pursuit of your objectives should leave room for adaptation and learning. As you progress, you may find that your original target evolves, or that new opportunities open up that were previously unforeseen. Being too attached to a specific outcome can limit your ability to seize these moments. Instead, targets should be markers that guide you, but not so fixed that they prevent you from changing course when necessary. Targets should also feel connected to something bigger than just the accomplishment itself. They must tie into the narrative of who you are becoming. When targets are aligned with your deeper purpose, they take on a sense of meaning that transcends the mere act of achieving them. It's not just about the win at the end. It's about the person you become along the way. You grow not just because you reach the goal, but because of how the pursuit transforms you, how it teaches you, challenges you, and shapes your character. When the targets you set reflect a larger vision of your life, the work becomes easier to commit to. You're no longer working just for an external outcome. You're working toward a deeper, more personal transformation. Moreover, setting the right targets is about breaking down big dreams into achievable steps. Often, people shy away from setting significant targets because they seem too large or daunting. The key is not to be intimidated by the size of the goal, but to break it down into smaller, manageable milestones. Every small win brings you closer to your larger vision and provides you with the momentum needed to keep going. These incremental steps not only keep you on track, but they also keep your confidence high. When each milestone feels like progress, the journey becomes less about the daunting distance ahead and more about the satisfaction of consistent movement forward. The right targets are also measurable. A target that is vague or abstract can leave you lost in a fog of uncertainty. When you can clearly see your progress, you have a roadmap to follow. This clarity also helps keep you motivated. Knowing exactly where you stand in relation to your goal allows you to celebrate each small victory and identify areas where you may need to adjust your approach. But measurement is not about perfection. It's about understanding where you are so you can make course corrections as needed. It's about holding yourself accountable, but without the pressure of achieving immediate perfection. Finally, the most powerful targets are those that ignite a sense of passion and commitment. When you are emotionally invested in a goal, it ceases to be just another task to check off. It becomes a challenge that excites you, a mission that inspires you. Passion gives you the energy to show up every day, even when things get tough. It's the driving force that will help you push through moments of doubt, fatigue, and frustration. Without passion, targets become chores. With passion, they become powerful forces that propel you forward with unstoppable momentum. In the end, setting the right targets is not about following a prescribed formula. It's about tapping into a deeper understanding of what drives you, what challenges you, and what will lead to true fulfillment. These targets are not just milestones. They are the threads that tie together the story of your life, shaping who you are and guiding you to the person you're meant to become. The process is personal, evolving, and deeply connected to the larger narrative of your life. When your targets align with your core desires and capabilities, they serve as the foundation for a future that is not just successful, but truly meaningful. Chapter 5. Building the Framework. The pursuit of meaningful goals often feels like navigating an uncharted path. The end destination is clear, but the journey requires more than just desire. It requires a thoughtful structure that allows you to move forward with purpose and confidence. A goal without a framework is like a dream without a plan, inspiring but ultimately directionless. To make your goals not only achievable but sustainable, you need a solid framework that acts as both a map and a guide, helping you navigate challenges, stay motivated, and continue moving forward even when obstacles arise. The first piece of your framework is a clear and actionable plan. Without a plan, even the most well-intentioned goals can get lost in the shuffle of everyday life. Your plan needs to be more than a list of tasks. It must be a blueprint that outlines every step, from where you are now to where you want to be. This isn't about rigid schedules or detailed timetables. It's about creating a sequence of actions that keep you progressing. Think of it as building a staircase. Each step is a small victory that leads you closer to the summit. When each step is intentional, the journey feels purposeful and steady. One of the key elements of a strong framework is breaking down your goals into manageable chunks. Large, overwhelming goals can be paralyzing, especially when they feel like they're miles away. But when you break those large goals into smaller, more achievable objectives, they become far less intimidating. The framework should be designed with a sense of progression in mind. Each mini-goal should build on the previous one, creating momentum. This approach not only makes progress measurable, but also reinforces a sense of accomplishment, which fuels your desire to keep moving forward. You're not just working toward the big picture. You're constantly seeing results along the way, which makes the journey much more rewarding. As you create your framework, it's crucial to understand that flexibility is as important as structure. Life doesn't always unfold as planned. Circumstances change, opportunities arise, and obstacles appear when you least expect them. Rather than a rigid system that can only function in one way, your framework should be dynamic, able to adapt to shifting circumstances. This means being prepared to adjust your plan, reevaluate your methods, or even shift your approach altogether if needed. It's about creating a roadmap that leaves room for detours, while still staying focused on the destination. Equally important to this flexibility is the ability to set priorities. In a world where distractions are endless, it's easy to get caught up in tasks that seem urgent but aren't necessarily important. Your framework needs to be built around a sense of hierarchy. What actions are most essential? What moves the needle? And what should you tackle first? Without clear priorities, it's easy to get lost in a sea of small tasks that add little value to your overall goals. Focus on the actions that will bring you closest to your destination, and allow the less important tasks to take a back seat. The structure of your framework also relies on consistent tracking and reflection. Regularly checking your progress against your goals helps you stay on course and provides a feedback loop for course correction. Tracking is not about perfection. It's about being aware of where you stand in relation to where you want to go. This awareness allows you to identify what's working, what isn't, and what needs to change. Without this process, you might find yourself drifting without realizing it until it's too late. Reflection helps keep your actions aligned with your larger vision, giving you the clarity to make informed decisions as you move forward. Another essential component of your framework is accountability. Whether through self-accountability or external sources, having someone or something to hold you responsible keeps you focused. The act of reporting your progress, whether to a mentor, a partner, or even to yourself, creates a sense of commitment that can't be easily shaken. When you know someone else is expecting results, or when you've promised yourself that you'll hit a milestone by a certain time, you're far less likely to procrastinate or let things slide. Accountability doesn't have to be about pressure. It's about reinforcing your commitment to yourself and your goals. Your framework should also be designed to nurture resilience. The road to success is rarely a smooth one, and setbacks are inevitable. What makes the difference between those who persevere and those who give up is how they respond to those setbacks. A resilient framework is one that doesn't crumble when things go wrong, but instead has mechanisms in place to help you bounce back. This might mean taking a break when you're burnt out, seeking support when you're feeling lost, or adjusting your expectations when life throws you a curveball. Resilience in your framework isn't about avoiding failure. It's about building in the tools and mindset to overcome it when it happens. Equally important to resilience is consistency. A well-built framework is not one that depends on bursts of motivation or periods of intense focus. True success comes from a steady, consistent effort. This doesn't mean you have to be moving forward every single moment, but it does mean that your framework encourages you to show up day after day, even when motivation fades. The small daily actions, compounded over time, have a greater impact than occasional bursts of energy. It's the consistent effort that leads to long-term results. Finally, your framework should support growth. It's not just about achieving the goal, it's about becoming the person capable of achieving it. The framework needs to integrate opportunities for learning, self-improvement, and skill development. Every step should stretch you, helping you build the habits, mindset, and capabilities necessary for success. As you progress toward your goals, your framework should evolve to reflect your growing abilities and newfound wisdom. This continuous development ensures that when you reach your goal, you're not just achieving an external result. You're becoming someone who is equipped to take on even greater challenges in the future. In the end, building a framework for your goals isn't just about organizing tasks. It's about creating a system that supports your growth, maintains your focus, and adapts to the twists and turns of the journey. A well-designed framework gives you the foundation to stay on track, no matter what challenges come your way, and it ensures that your pursuit of goals becomes not just a destination, but a transformative process. Chapter 6: The Power of Small Wins. When we set out to achieve something big, it can feel overwhelming. The distance between where we are now and where we want to be often seems vast, and this can stop us in our tracks before we even begin. The key to turning this monumental task into something achievable is recognizing the immense power of small wins. These tiny victories don't just keep us moving forward, they propel us in ways that large goals alone cannot. Think of the first steps of your journey as building a momentum wheel. Each small action you take, each minor task you complete, gives that wheel a little push. At first, it moves slowly, but as you continue to add momentum, it begins to spin faster and with greater ease. It's in these small actions that the true power lies. Small wins don't overwhelm the mind. They give a sense of accomplishment without the stress. They provide a clear, immediate path to success, and every completed task builds confidence that you can tackle the next step, no matter how big. Small wins also make the journey less daunting. When you focus on the end goal, you often see only the enormity of the task ahead. But when you break that goal down into smaller, digestible pieces, you can focus on what's right in front of you. Instead of thinking about the hundreds of hours it might take to complete a project, you only need to think about the next hour or the next action. When those smaller actions are framed as wins, no matter how small, you celebrate them, and that celebration creates positive energy that pushes you to the next one. It's a pattern of progress, and that progress feeds itself. These little wins are also the builders of motivation. Motivation isn't a constant state of high energy and excitement. It fluctuates. You'll have moments when you feel like you can conquer the world, but also times when motivation is hard to summon. The beauty of small wins is that they don't require a constant surge of motivation to achieve. They build momentum quietly. When you set yourself up for frequent successes, things you know are within reach, the act of winning becomes a habit. You begin to trust that the next step, no matter how small, will lead to another win. And as the wins accumulate, so does your motivation. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or the perfect energy level. The act of achieving these smaller goals is energizing in itself. Small wins also reinforce the belief that progress is possible. When you're working toward a big goal, it can feel like you're not getting anywhere fast enough, especially in the beginning. But when you celebrate small wins, you constantly remind yourself that you're not stuck. You're moving forward. It's easy to get discouraged when you can't see immediate results, but the practice of acknowledging each step along the way turns that uncertainty into a series of victories. That constant affirmation helps you stay on course, even when the bigger picture is still out of sight. Another powerful aspect of small wins is that they create a sense of control. Life can feel chaotic at times, and big long-term goals can feel like they're outside of our grasp. But by focusing on what you can control, those small, manageable actions, you regain a sense of agency. You are no longer waiting for the stars to align or for the perfect conditions to arrive. You begin to understand that your success is not determined by external forces, but by the actions you take in the moment. Every small task completed becomes a declaration. I am in charge. I am moving forward, and I am making progress. Additionally, these wins set the stage for bigger accomplishments. When you're able to achieve these smaller steps with consistency, you build a track record of success that makes the larger goal feel more attainable. You start to realize that these small actions compound, and before long, the larger goal starts to feel less like a distant dream and more like a natural extension of the progress you've already made. The effort required to achieve the bigger goal isn't any less, but it doesn't seem as insurmountable. The path has been paved through consistent, small steps. Small wins also foster a mindset of resilience. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, and setbacks are inevitable. But when you're accustomed to focusing on small wins, you become less attached to the idea of perfection and more comfortable with the idea of progress. A single failure, or a challenging day, doesn't derail you. You know that it's just a bump in the road, not the end of the journey. The ability to shift your focus back to the next win, no matter how minor, helps you navigate the inevitable challenges with greater ease. It's not the big victories that sustain you through tough times. It's the habit of constantly looking for and celebrating the small victories that ensures you keep going. Even beyond personal progress, small wins can have a ripple effect on the people around you. They show others that success doesn't always come in monumental moments. It often comes in the form of quiet, consistent effort. When you begin to share your wins, you inspire others to recognize their own small victories, creating a culture of encouragement and positivity. This can be especially powerful when working in teams or when supporting others on their own journeys. When everyone starts celebrating the small wins, the energy and momentum of the entire group are elevated. By focusing on the power of small wins, you're not just achieving goals, you're transforming the process of goal setting itself. Each small win becomes a stepping stone, not just toward the end goal, but toward a new way of living and thinking. It teaches you that success isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey and the everyday victories that make that journey worthwhile. Chapter 7. Navigating Setbacks. Setbacks, though often seen as frustrating detours, are not the end of the road. They are invitations to recalibrate, reevaluate, and reimagine the path you are on. When life presents you with obstacles, it's not a signal to stop, but rather a call to dive deeper, push harder, and grow in ways you never anticipated. The real power lies not in avoiding setbacks, but in embracing them, seeing them as the stepping stones that shape your success story. In the face of a setback, many are tempted to lose sight of their purpose or let discouragement take over. But the true measure of resilience is not how smoothly the journey goes, but how we respond when things don't go as planned. Each setback offers a chance to pause and examine the approach you've been taking. It's an opportunity to assess whether the goals you're chasing still align with who you've become, or if there's a different direction that calls you forward. There's wisdom in rethinking strategies when the initial ones falter, and this kind of reflection is what separates those who persevere from those who retreat. The key to navigating setbacks lies in the ability to detach your self-worth from your circumstances. A setback is not a reflection of your potential or abilities. It's simply part of the process. Often, the most successful individuals have faced multiple failures, each time using those moments as fuel for reinvention. They understand that growth rarely occurs without discomfort. The rough patches are what smooth the rough edges and refine the sharpness of purpose. So, when you find yourself hitting a wall, instead of giving up, lean into the discomfort and take a hard look at the lessons it presents. There's a reason why the most powerful breakthroughs often come after the hardest struggles. As you move through life, setbacks will continue to come, but they will lose their power over you. With every experience of overcoming a challenge, you build a stronger sense of belief in yourself. You learn that no matter how difficult the setback, it is temporary. What's permanent is your ability to persist, learn, and adapt. And each time you do, you emerge stronger, wiser, and even more aligned with your purpose. This shift in perspective turns what others may see as failures into rich, transformative experiences that add value to your journey. It's not about getting things right every time, but about developing the resilience to keep moving forward. The magic of setbacks is that they force you to evolve and develop the skills, mindset, and clarity needed to reach higher levels of achievement. Instead of avoiding challenges, you'll learn to welcome them as part of the natural flow toward your success. Chapter 8. Tracking and Reflecting. One of the most powerful tools in any pursuit of success is the practice of tracking your progress and taking the time to reflect. It's not enough to merely set goals and work tirelessly toward them. Without the process of tracking and reflection, we often miss the subtle shifts that occur along the way, both positive and negative. The act of regularly checking in with yourself not only strengthens your self-awareness, but also allows you to make real-time adjustments, ensuring that you stay on the path toward your desired outcome. Tracking is more than just a simple record-keeping activity. It's a way to bring intention into your daily actions. When you write down your progress, you immediately create a space of accountability between you and your goals. Every step you take, every move you make becomes part of the larger story of your success. This process isn't about perfection. It's about being honest with yourself. It's an ongoing narrative that reflects the ups and downs of your journey. And when seen over time, it reveals patterns that would otherwise go unnoticed. This kind of self-awareness is the foundation of true growth. It's not about reaching a final destination, but about being fully present and engaged in the evolution of your goals. By tracking your progress, you not only see where you've been, but you also gain insight into how far you've come. Often, we're so caught up in the next task that we forget to acknowledge what we've already accomplished. Tracking gives you the opportunity to look back, to pause, and to give yourself credit for the strides you've made. It brings clarity to what may otherwise seem like small steps, and those small steps add up. Over time, they become monumental. When you see your achievements laid out in front of you, you begin to realize that the journey isn't as long or as hard as it once seemed. You've already taken the first steps. Now, you can see your way forward more clearly. Tracking also helps you measure the effectiveness of your strategies. It's not uncommon to follow a course of action for weeks or months before realizing that something is no longer working. When you track your progress regularly, you can identify when a strategy is starting to fall short. Without this awareness, you might continue investing time and energy into methods that aren't producing results. But with tracking, you have a concrete way to assess whether your current approach is effective or needs tweaking. This constant feedback loop allows you to course correct before you waste too much time or effort. You don't have to wait until the end of a project or the completion of a goal to know if your path is the right one. You can make adjustments along the way, keeping the momentum going. Reflection, on the other hand, is the quiet companion to tracking. It's not enough to just monitor progress. Reflection allows you to dig deeper into what's working and why. It's about pausing, looking inward, and taking the time to analyze your thoughts, actions, and emotions throughout the process. Reflection isn't just about asking yourself, "What did I accomplish?" but also, "How did I feel about what I accomplished? And what did I learn along the way?" It's about seeing your journey from a more detached perspective, without judgment, so that you can uncover insights that guide your next steps. When you reflect, you give yourself permission to explore, to grow, and to uncover the deeper motivations behind your actions. When you reflect on your progress, you give space to celebrate, not just the big achievements, but the small victories as well. Reflection allows you to acknowledge the effort it took to reach each milestone. Too often we move from one task to the next without taking the time to appreciate the work behind the results. Celebration isn't just about rewarding yourself, it's about reinforcing the habit of recognizing progress. When you reflect on what you've done well, you create positive reinforcement that keeps you motivated for the next step. It helps to develop a mindset that isn't just focused on the end goal, but on enjoying and appreciating the journey. Tracking and reflecting also help you break free from the trap of comparison. It's easy to look around and see where others are in their own journeys and feel discouraged by the distance between their success and your own. But when you track and reflect on your personal progress, you focus on your unique path. The comparison game becomes irrelevant. Your progress is measured by your own standards and your own growth, not by someone else's timeline or milestones. By regularly checking in with yourself, you build a stronger connection to your own work and purpose. Your progress is your own, and that's what matters most. Another significant benefit of tracking and reflecting is that it strengthens your resilience. There will be days when it feels like nothing is going right, when the obstacles seem too large to overcome. In those moments, it's easy to lose sight of how much you've already achieved. By tracking your progress and reflecting on it regularly, you have the evidence you need to remind yourself that you are moving forward. You have proof that you've faced challenges before and overcome them, and this becomes the foundation for facing future obstacles with confidence. The act of reflection helps you tap into your inner strength and recognize your capacity to continue, even when the road gets tough. Reflection also opens the door for deeper personal insight. Often, the answers we need aren't found in the next course of action, but in understanding how we've been thinking, feeling, and behaving throughout the process. By stepping back and reflecting, we can uncover mental patterns and habits that may be hindering our progress. You might discover that the problem isn't with your goals or strategies, but with limiting beliefs, self-doubt, or fear of failure. Reflection brings clarity to the mental and emotional blocks that hold you back, and from that clarity, you can develop the tools to overcome them. In essence, tracking and reflecting are the practices that transform a goal into a living, breathing process. They allow you to stay connected to your progress, to learn from every experience, and to adjust your course as needed. By making these practices a regular part of your journey, you don't just move closer to your goals. You evolve as a person, constantly adapting and refining the way you approach your dreams. It's a dynamic, fluid process that ensures you're always on the path that best serves your growth. Chapter 9. Harnessing Accountability. Accountability isn't just a tool for achieving your goals. It's the catalyst that transforms intentions into tangible results. At its core, accountability is about having someone or something in place that holds you responsible for your actions, choices, and progress. But it goes far beyond simply being reminded of what needs to be done. It's a force that taps into your sense of duty, pride, and desire to follow through. This external element creates a dynamic shift in your behavior, often sparking motivation when your internal drive wavers. We all have days when our enthusiasm for a goal begins to fade, when the weight of distractions or setbacks makes it easier to procrastinate. In those moments, external accountability is a reminder of your commitment, not just to the goal, but to yourself. Having someone, whether a mentor, friend, coach, or even a partner who is invested in your success creates a sense of responsibility that goes beyond just your own well-being. You begin to realize that your actions, or lack thereof, impact more than just your own future. The people you trust and invite into your journey are there to support you, but they also provide a mirror that reflects your choices. This mirror holds you to a higher standard, challenging you to show up, even when you don't feel like it. Accountability isn't just about being checked on, it's about building a relationship where progress is discussed openly and honestly. The conversations you have with your accountability partners, or the structures you create for yourself, become spaces for reflection, growth, and clarity. In this safe space, you can celebrate victories, but more importantly, you can confront failures with transparency. Accountability is not a judgmental force, but a supportive one, which encourages you to evaluate what's working and what isn't. It holds you to a higher level of integrity, not through criticism, but through consistent support and the commitment to improvement. The drive to meet your commitments is often strengthened by knowing someone else is involved in the process. Think of accountability as a partnership. You bring your intentions and aspirations, and the accountability partner brings the commitment and motivation to keep you moving forward. This partnership works best when there is trust, communication, and mutual respect. It's not about having someone breathing down your neck, but about fostering a collaborative environment where your goals are treated as a shared mission. The role of the accountability partner is to listen, ask insightful questions, and gently push you to stay on track, especially when your motivation wanes. Creating external accountability structures, whether through group settings, regular check-ins, or tangible progress markers, creates a dynamic of ongoing commitment. This structure acts as the framework that ensures you don't simply talk about your goals, but take action on them. In these settings, goals stop being abstract aspirations and start becoming concrete actions. By having measurable checkpoints and deadlines with external support, you're given the ability to track your progress, see patterns of success or struggle, and adjust course accordingly. Accountability structures create a sense of urgency, turning your long-term goals into more immediate priorities. There's also a psychological shift that occurs when you involve others in your journey. When you commit to someone else or a group, it's no longer just about your individual success. Your goals become a shared responsibility. Whether it's a mentor who expects you to report on your progress or a team that works with you toward a common objective, the act of communicating your progress to others forces you to make that progress real. You're no longer just thinking about it in your head. You're telling someone, perhaps even the world, that you are serious about what you're setting out to accomplish. The key to effective accountability lies in the balance of support and challenge. If accountability feels too comfortable, it won't push you to reach beyond your current limits. You need someone or something that challenges you to go further, do more, and see beyond what you initially thought was possible. It's this stretch, the gentle push outside of your comfort zone, that makes accountability so powerful. It encourages you to look at your goals with fresh eyes, to see the possibilities beyond the limitations you've placed on yourself. This is where real growth happens. With the right balance of encouragement and challenge, you begin to expand your belief in what you're capable of achieving. There are also moments when the need for external accountability reaches beyond what you can handle on your own. These are the moments when a community can play a vital role. Having others who are working towards similar goals, whether in a group or team setting, brings an element of shared experience that reinforces your individual commitment. The act of witnessing others' progress, both their successes and struggles, provides inspiration and a sense of connection. In a community of accountability, you can exchange wisdom, offer support, and share in both the highs and lows. This collective momentum can be incredibly energizing, often carrying you through moments when your own drive falters. But accountability isn't always about the big group or the external partner. It can also be a deeply personal system of checks and balances. A journal, a tracker, a reminder system. These tools can act as forms of accountability, allowing you to hold yourself responsible for your actions. Even without an external presence, the act of writing down your goals and monitoring your progress creates a ritual that keeps you grounded and focused. It becomes a daily reminder of your commitment, reinforcing your own personal responsibility. Harnessing accountability in whatever form doesn't just increase your chances of success, it deepens your commitment to your own growth. It's a call to step up and fully engage in the process, knowing that you're not in it alone. It's a reminder that your goals are worth pursuing, that the effort you put in matters, and that you deserve to succeed. Whether it's through the support of others or your own self-created structures, accountability keeps you honest, driven, and on track, pushing you closer to realizing the vision you've set for yourself. Chapter 10. Mastering Resilience. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from failure. It's about learning how to rise stronger every time you encounter adversity. It's the ability to hold on to your vision when life doesn't cooperate, when the road gets bumpy, and when everything seems to be stacked against you. Resilience isn't a single trait that you either have or you don't. It's a muscle that you build over time. The more challenges you face, the more opportunities you have to fortify your inner strength. But it's not about avoiding hardship. It's about understanding that setbacks aren't the end, but a vital part of the journey. When the inevitable obstacles arise, whether they are external forces like financial struggles or internal battles like self-doubt, it's easy to lose sight of your goal. In those moments, resilience demands that you don't let temporary difficulties derail you from your path. It's about keeping your head above water, even when the storm seems endless. Instead of seeing failure as something that defines you, resilience teaches you to see it as a lesson, one that refines you and strengthens your resolve. The foundation of resilience lies in the ability to reframe your perspective. When faced with adversity, it's easy to look at it as an unfortunate event, something to complain about or avoid. But resilient individuals train themselves to shift their thinking. They ask, "What can I learn from this? How can this make me better?" When you approach challenges as opportunities for growth, you are less likely to be defeated by them. Rather than getting bogged down by frustration or bitterness, resilience encourages you to take action. You move forward not because things are easy, but because you've made a conscious decision that you will not be stopped by circumstances. At the heart of resilience is the ability to adapt. Life rarely goes exactly as planned. The unexpected happens, and things you didn't anticipate come up. Your job isn't to control everything, but to adjust as needed. Think of resilience as being flexible in your approach without losing sight of your destination. Like a tree in the wind, you bend with the storm, but never break. The more adaptable you are, the easier it becomes to pivot and continue your pursuit, even when things shift unexpectedly. Resilience also requires a deep sense of purpose. Without a clear sense of why you're doing what you're doing, it becomes too easy to give up when things get tough. But when your purpose is rooted in something bigger than the hurdles you face, something that fuels you, it becomes easier to keep going, no matter what. Resilient people have an unshakable belief that their efforts matter, even when the results aren't immediate or obvious. They know that the seeds they're planting today might not bear fruit for months or years, but they continue to water them because they understand the long-term payoff. When your purpose drives you, setbacks no longer feel like dead ends. They feel like temporary detours on the road to something greater. Another critical aspect of resilience is the ability to manage your emotions. It's easy to become overwhelmed by frustration, anger, or fear when things aren't going well. But resilience is about maintaining your composure, even when the pressure mounts. This doesn't mean you suppress your emotions, but rather that you learn to acknowledge and process them without letting them control your actions. The most resilient people are often those who have developed the ability to stay calm under pressure, focusing on solutions rather than problems. They don't let negative emotions consume their energy. Instead, they channel that energy into constructive action. Surrounding yourself with the right people is another powerful tool in cultivating resilience. When faced with hardships, isolation often feels like the easiest option. But isolation breeds defeat. Resilience thrives in community. Whether through mentors, friends, family, or even online groups, the support and encouragement of others can be the difference between giving up and pushing through. When you have others who believe in you and remind you of your strength, it's easier to weather the storms. Resilient individuals don't walk their paths alone. They recognize the importance of leaning on others, seeking advice and drawing strength from shared experiences. Resilience also calls for a great deal of self-compassion. It's easy to become frustrated with yourself when things don't go according to plan. You may blame yourself for missteps or feel inadequate in the face of challenges. But resilience isn't about being perfect. It's about understanding that you are human. When you experience setbacks, be gentle with yourself. Acknowledge the difficulty, accept the moment of struggle, and then refocus on moving forward. Resilience doesn't demand perfection. It demands perseverance and a willingness to keep going, even when things feel heavy. When you learn to master resilience, you begin to see challenges not as obstacles but as integral parts of your growth. You realize that nothing in life worth having comes without effort, and no victory is truly sweet without having faced adversity along the way. Every struggle becomes a stepping stone, building your character, strengthening your resolve, and bringing you closer to your ultimate goals. Resilience fuels long-term success because it instills the habits and mindset necessary for sustained progress. It's not about achieving immediate success or instant gratification. It's about maintaining consistent effort, no matter what comes your way. Resilience helps you stay in the game, even when others quit, because you've learned how to turn failure into feedback, to rise above disappointment, and to continue fighting for what you want. Chapter 11. Sustaining the drive. Maintaining drive over time can feel like trying to keep a fire burning when the wind is blowing hard. In the beginning, the excitement of a new goal can feel like an unstoppable force. Everything is fresh, your motivation is high, and every step forward feels like a victory. But as time passes, that initial momentum fades, and the journey becomes less about passion and more about persistence. This is where the real challenge lies. Not just starting strong, but staying strong until the finish line. Sustaining the drive is about creating lasting energy, even when the enthusiasm wanes or obstacles arise. To keep your focus sharp, it's crucial to reconnect with the purpose behind your goal regularly. When the grind of everyday tasks starts to feel monotonous, it's easy to forget why you started. But when you revisit the core reasons for pursuing your goal, whether it's personal growth, helping others, or reaching a dream, it reignites the fire inside. Reflecting on the bigger picture reminds you that the journey is not just about the destination, but about how each step, no matter how small, is part of your personal evolution. This broader perspective gives you the strength to push forward, even on days when the finish line feels far out of reach. Your drive is fueled not just by passion, but by progress. The key to sustaining momentum is to celebrate the incremental achievements along the way. These small wins, no matter how seemingly insignificant, help to keep the spirit alive. It's about recognizing and savoring the steps forward, even when the end result isn't yet in sight. Every accomplishment, whether it's a breakthrough or simply staying consistent, serves as proof that you're on the right path. These little victories are like kindling for the fire, adding fuel to your continued effort. Another important factor in sustaining your drive is the ability to overcome plateaus. At some point in every pursuit, there will be a period where you seem to be stuck, where progress slows or feels non-existent. This is often the point where many give up. But those who sustain their drive understand that these plateaus are not signs of failure, but opportunities for recalibration. When progress feels stagnant, it's an invitation to rethink your approach. It's a reminder that growth often happens in cycles, and just because you can't see the results doesn't mean they aren't happening. Resilience and patience are key during these moments, as they allow you to persevere and keep moving forward, even when you can't immediately see the outcome. To maintain enthusiasm, it's vital to create an environment that supports your growth. The people you surround yourself with play a significant role in your drive. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity or individuals who doubt your potential, it becomes increasingly difficult to stay motivated. On the other hand, being in the company of supportive, like-minded individuals can provide the encouragement and energy needed to keep going. These people act as mirrors reflecting your potential, helping you see beyond the struggles and reminding you of the strength you carry. Regular check-ins with these individuals or engaging in a supportive community can offer much-needed perspective and keep your enthusiasm high. At the same time, don't underestimate the power of self-care in maintaining your motivation. Often, when we push ourselves toward a goal, we can become so focused on the end result that we neglect the importance of rest, reflection, and renewal. True sustainability comes from balance. You can't run on empty, and without the occasional recharge, your passion will dwindle. Take time to replenish your energy, whether through a break, a hobby, or simply disconnecting from the grind. Rejuvenating your body and mind ensures that you return to your goals with renewed strength and a fresh perspective, making it easier to stay on track. In sustaining the drive, flexibility is essential. The path to success is rarely a straight line. Unexpected challenges, changes in circumstances, or shifting priorities may force you to adjust your course. Rather than resisting these changes, see them as opportunities to refine your approach. Flexibility allows you to maintain momentum even when things don't unfold as you expected. By adapting to new circumstances and being open to different paths, you avoid frustration and burnout, while keeping your energy focused on the bigger picture. Setting a rhythm also plays a critical role in sustaining your drive. The consistent practice of habits that align with your goal creates a sense of routine and normalcy, helping to make your pursuit feel less like a task and more like a way of life. When actions toward your goal are part of your daily rhythm, you don't have to constantly rely on bursts of motivation to keep you going. Instead, you move forward because it has become second nature to do so. Establishing routines ensures that progress is being made consistently, even when motivation isn't at its peak. One of the most powerful ways to sustain drive is to make the journey enjoyable. Find ways to inject fun, creativity, and personal satisfaction into the process. When the pursuit of your goal becomes something you enjoy in itself, the motivation to keep going doesn't rely solely on external rewards or outcomes. The satisfaction comes from the act of doing, from the challenge of pushing yourself, and from the pride in being fully engaged in something that matters to you. When the process itself feels rewarding, staying motivated becomes an easier and more natural endeavor. To truly sustain your drive, you need to cultivate the belief that your efforts are worthwhile, regardless of the speed of progress. Many people struggle to maintain enthusiasm when they aren't seeing immediate results. But the key is to trust that each effort you put in is an investment in your future. Every step, every choice, and every action compounds over time, building toward your ultimate goal. Understanding that patience is part of the process helps you avoid burnout and keeps your focus on the long-term vision, instead of fleeting moments of frustration. In the end, sustaining the drive is about creating a system that continually motivates you, challenges you, and supports your efforts. It's about staying aligned with your purpose, maintaining momentum through small victories, and finding the right balance between pushing forward and taking care of yourself. When you make sustaining your drive a priority, it becomes less about forcing motivation and more about creating a mindset and environment where it naturally thrives. Chapter 12. The Fulfillment of Achievement. Achievement, when it's aligned with your deepest desires and values, becomes more than just a milestone. It becomes a source of profound fulfillment. In our world, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing external rewards, accolades, and recognition. These are the goals that often appear shiny and glamorous, but they don't always bring lasting satisfaction. True fulfillment comes from pursuing goals that resonate with who you are at your core, those that stretch you beyond your comfort zone while honoring your inner truth. When you reach a goal that truly matters to you, the satisfaction you feel is not simply about crossing something off your to-do list or receiving an award. It's about a deep sense of alignment between who you were when you set the goal and who you have become by achieving it. This transformation is where the real magic lies. Achieving a goal that aligns with your values creates a sense of peace and completeness because you know at a deep level that it wasn't just the external result you were after. It was the growth, the journey, and the process itself. This fulfillment, however, doesn't always feel like an explosion of fireworks or a grand celebration. Often it's a quiet, subtle satisfaction that seeps into your being. It's the kind of contentment that arises when you've put in the effort, faced the challenges, and come out on the other side not just with a result, but with a deeper understanding of yourself. It's the satisfaction that comes from knowing you've honored your potential and lived up to your own expectations, rather than someone else's. When you achieve something that is truly meaningful, the sense of fulfillment extends beyond the moment of accomplishment. It ripples outward and influences your future aspirations in powerful ways. Success rooted in alignment creates momentum, each accomplishment fueling the desire for more, not in the sense of a never-ending quest for validation, but in a deeper, more organic way. It becomes less about accumulating things or statuses and more about expanding your capacity to create, to evolve, and to contribute. As you experience fulfillment, you begin to redefine success itself, seeing it not as a destination, but as an ongoing process of growth and exploration. One of the beautiful things about fulfillment is that it shifts your focus. Instead of placing all your attention on future rewards, you begin to savor the present moment. You realize that achievement isn't about some far-off day in the future, but about how fully you can engage in the process. It's about the quality of the work, the depth of the commitment, and the joy you find in the small victories along the way. This mindset shift allows you to release the pressure of constantly striving for bigger and better, and instead, you begin to find peace in the work itself. The fulfillment of achievement also brings clarity about what truly matters. When you reach a goal that is aligned with your true self, it often acts as a beacon, guiding you to your next step. You begin to understand what's worth your time and energy, and what no longer serves you. With every success, you refine your vision of the future, choosing new goals that feel even more authentic, more expansive, and more in tune with your evolving sense of purpose. This cycle of achievement becomes not just about reaching a finish line, but about the continuous unfolding of your potential, your purpose, and your impact on the world around you. Moreover, this fulfillment doesn't always look like the achievement of massive, life-changing goals. Sometimes it's the quiet, everyday achievements that hold the most meaning. These are the goals that may not make headlines, but are deeply fulfilling in their own right. They are the moments when you've stayed true to your commitments, when you've nurtured your relationships, or when you've made progress in a small, seemingly insignificant way that has a huge impact on your inner world. These moments, though often overlooked, are the building blocks of a truly fulfilling life, and when they accumulate, they create a sense of joy and peace that transcends the pursuit of external success. True fulfillment comes when you stop measuring your achievements against others and start measuring them against your own personal growth and evolution. It's about looking inward and seeing how far you've come, not just in terms of what you've done, but in terms of who you've become. The more you grow, the more you understand that success isn't about the destination, but about the journey of becoming more of yourself. And in that process, every achievement becomes an expression of that deeper truth. As you begin to realize the fulfillment that comes from aligning your goals with your true desires, you develop a new relationship with ambition. You no longer feel driven by an external need for recognition or validation. Instead, you are driven by an internal desire to create, contribute, and evolve. Your goals no longer feel like obligations or things you must get done. They become opportunities for self-expression, for testing your limits, and for contributing to the world in ways that resonate deeply with your soul. When you experience true fulfillment from achieving a well-aligned goal, you understand that it isn't the end of the road. It's simply another beginning. You've discovered a new level of possibility, and the bar has been raised not by external standards, but by your own internal growth. The more aligned your goals are with your true purpose, the more fulfilling the achievement feels. And as you continue to walk this path, you find that your aspirations evolve, growing in richness and depth, leading you to even greater levels of fulfillment. Conclusion. As you stand at the finish line of one goal, take a moment to look back at the journey you've traversed. The path wasn't always smooth, nor was it predictable. Yet each step you took, whether in certainty or uncertainty, brought you closer to the person you're becoming. You didn't just chase a goal, you transformed along the way, learning more about your strengths, your resilience, and your capacity for growth. The achievements you've unlocked are not just markers of success, but reflections of your deeper alignment with your purpose. Each milestone reached wasn't an isolated moment of victory. It was a part of something much bigger, the ongoing evolution of who you are and what you're capable of. In the pursuit of your goals, you've also learned how to build the foundation for future aspirations, knowing that fulfillment doesn't lie in the destination, but in the continuous unfolding of your potential. But the journey doesn't end here. The process of goal setting is not a one-time event. It's a living practice that evolves as you do. The mindset you've cultivated, the structures you've created, and the resilience you've built will serve as the launching pad for the next chapter of your life. Each goal you set from this point forward is a continuation of the story you're telling, a story that is uniquely yours. What you've accomplished has already shown you the power within you. And as you move forward, remember that the pursuit of a goal is never truly finished. The more you achieve, the higher your aspirations rise, the broader your horizon becomes. Embrace it, with the understanding that the pursuit of meaningful goals is the art of becoming more than you ever thought you could be. So, go ahead, set your sights even higher. The best is yet to come.